Hello everyone. This video is going to be a little different, a little bit about money, a little bit about YouTube, expenses, taxes. Taxes have come up for YouTubers here a few months ago in the different countries, and any more additional details about that topic. I am talking a little primarily about YouTube here. There are other options, video options out there. But YouTube is the big one. You can make money, probably just a little money. They changed their rules what a year or so ago, and easy enough to set up a YouTube channel. When I came here, I was aware of three vloggers who had channels, and I think they were all in Dumaguete, as a matter of fact. I came to see Cebu City, and I've always had a camera with me. I always like to take pictures and videos. I started taking video, as I had for years, as I traveled and started putting some stuff online. Finally decided to put a YouTube channel up. Picked a name, Amazing Philippines, which was kind of unique and amazing that it was available. But down the roadways, they changed the rules. You had to have a certain number of subscribers, and they've increased it. And now I think you need 1,000 subscribers, and you need within a year, 12-month period, you need 4,000 watch hours. I think those are the newest rules, but they could change those tomorrow, so you need to check the site. Can you get rich? There are a few people getting rich. Most of us are not getting rich. It's like the rest of the world. There are a few who excel and in sports or business or whatever it is. There are a few who excel, and the rest who fit on that curve someplace. If you are making money, there is a good possibility you'll have to pay taxes on that type of money. There again, depending upon where you live, where you're based out of, a number of different rules and regulations. A few months ago, there was some information come out of the Department of Revenue, Bureau of Revenue here in the Philippines, saying that everybody with any online income has to register and pay taxes. Well, I made a trip to the BIR, and they're all closed. You had to fill out a little piece of paper and say what your questions are, and the security guard would take it inside, and they would bring out whatever paperwork forms that you requested. Um, anyway, the I'm not going to get that's a long discussion, obviously, but I'm from the USA. I did my USA taxes. I filled out the Philippine taxes. I've been vlogging for 5 years. I've had three trips to the Philippines in 5 years. I've got over 25,000 subscribers, but YouTube is kind of, what did you do for me today? Your income goes up very slowly, can go down very quickly, depending upon your latest, what you've done this latest month. Um, anyway, I filled all the forms out, did all the calculations, and even before I included my expenses, because if you have a business, you have expenses. The IRS in the USA says if you're trying to make a profit, then you can call it a business and you can write off the expenses. If it's a hobby, you can only write off the expenses up to the amount of the income that you've made. If it's a business, you can go past that and you can take those. For instance, I had a loss once I added in all my expenses, so I can carry that over for like 15 years or something like that, I think. Now, here's a tip. Keep very good track of your expenses. And here in the Philippines, many receipts, uh, the ink will last maybe a week or a month, and it'll fade out. So be sure that be sure you take pictures that you have. You can verify your expenses and keep very good track of your expenses. There again, depending upon the country that you live in case your tax department comes and asks you about that, you can prove that you have expenses. For instance, if I take a trip over to Mactan Island from Cebu City, the taxi ride over to do some filming for video, which is usually 99%, 90% of the time my trips to Mactan Island are to do some filming. It's a business trip. My trip over, the taxi transportation over is probably 300, 400, 500 pesos at least, and coming back. So there's 1,000 pesos. If I take a hobble hobble, a motorbike taxi, another taxi over there, another ride, a jeepney, a bus, you can easily have expenses on that trip of 1,500, of about $30. Now I will tell you some confidential secret information. Don't tell anybody else. If you take all my videos, 600 plus videos, and I haven't figured it all out, but just in my head, I am guessing that I probably average about $10. I probably make about $10 per video, but that's just the first couple of weeks. If you get the views, if you don't, so really a trip to Mactan Island, I actually lose money on a trip like that. So there are people who entertain, do very good, have very high watch rates, long watch rates, that type of thing. They can make a lot more money. The Philippines, they have a 250,000 peso deduction off the top. You don't pay taxes unless you go up and above that, and then it's a gradual scale. I made less than 250,000 pesos, which is about 5,000 US dollars, last year. So I didn't have to pay any taxes in the Philippines. That was before I took any expenses off the top. Ads, affiliate programs, sponsors, PayPal, Patreon are all ways to make money. In fact, many people make more money from those sources than they do from the YouTube channel itself, from YouTube and who's owned by Google. YouTube, and in fact, I have set up a PayPal account, and I put a link in the description of the video. I have a Patreon account. I've had a number of people ask me over the years if there was some way that they could help support the program, the channel, and I've finally set that up. For anybody who wants to support the channel, and it does cost money. Many of the videos you actually lose money, but there are expenses. There's travel expenses, there's equipment expenses, and all that type of thing. But anyway, affiliate programs where you're tied in with Amazon or some product company or a sponsoring company that will pay you a certain amount. There are those types of programs, and my understanding is that many people are making much more money off of that type of thing than they are actually from YouTube. There are limits to what I will do. My doctor told me I shouldn't be doing this type of thing, but I do try to put out some good information, try to keep you up to date as much as I can. There are some risks involved in this kind of a business. Of course, every country has their own rules and regulations. Even in the U.S., there are some cities now. I used to read a lot of the photography magazines. Photographers are getting in trouble if they're in a park, and there happens to be some children in that park, the city park, and those children aren't related to him. He or she is assumed to be a criminal, and he can get ticketed and or arrested. So. It's something big news in the photography business. I also know a number of photographers over the years that have gotten out of the business because they said they do all that work and it's so easy to steal your work. And it is online. Everything's online now. Even if you watermark it, they tell me there are ways that people get around that. Not sure the details. YouTube does a pretty good job, and people will steal your work, your video, and they'll slow it down or speed it up or try to put a picture-in-picture type thing, And YouTube is actually pretty good about identifying that, letting us know uh, the people, person, whatever it is is using your video, and then they give you the option of warning them or taking it down immediately and whatever, that type of thing. And another risk is trolls and bullies, and I've been very, very, very fortunate. 99.9% of the people who visit my site and comment are you're all just very, very, very nice people. And I know many of you have occasionally get into, some of you, very few of you, get into arguments and name calling with each other over different political issues. But that doesn't happen very often. And YouTube is known for censoring sites and all that type of thing. I don't like to get into censoring. Occasionally, I have to shut down a discussion or comments. I will tell you this: if you curse in a comment, YouTube will pick that up immediately. Send your comment to the probably spam or inappropriate file. There's been a couple times I've had 400 comments in there, and I'll try to scan through a bunch of them and just see if they are appropriate type things. If you put links to other things, 80% of the time that will get sent to an inappropriate file. If you put a link to another whatever, to a news thing or whatever, YouTube will send that off in a different direction. If you if you made a bad comment, cursing comment to somebody else, that will probably go into an inappropriate file. So if you don't see your comments, sometimes it isn't because I've censored it; it's because YouTube does it automatically. Also, as far as ads go, I think YouTube has been making much less money over the last this year because of the medical crisis around the world. So fewer people are advertising. They're demanding lower rates. They're demanding more targeted advertising. I don't control advertising. I've had a few people tell me they didn't appreciate the ad that they had to watch that came up. But I have no control over that, and my understanding is that they are throwing a lot more ads onto these videos as well. And the one thing you could demonetize your site, then you would make absolutely nothing. I could live without that revenue, but it certainly is a small help, even though there are many expenses involved in the process and a lot of time. When I had 400 subscribers instead of 26,000 I have now, I seriously asked myself, is this something I really want to be spending this much time at? And because it takes up a lot of time doing the videos, doing the editing, and I do enjoy it. I enjoy sharing with all of you. At the present time, I'm answering almost all comments that I can. And there will come a point in time where I can't answer them all. I can't catch them all. YouTube is pretty good about notifying me about new comments, and I have a way of filtering them different types of ways. But there are sometimes I can't catch them all. And so anyway, thanks for coming along, and thanks for sharing your time with me on my journeys, on my videos. And thanks for commenting. I really appreciate that. All the comments I get, the discussions I get, the things that I learn from you guys in the comments often is enlightening about your experiences, especially during this time as you're traveling and having the various issues that the passes, the medical issues that you have to deal with. Anyway, hopefully this economy will open up much sooner than people are saying. Thanks for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll see you next time.